what's up? This is Robin Adams, the co-founder of Footprint TV Network, which was recently acquired by Aru Brothers Studios and Ozzy Aru, the former president of Tyler Perry Studios. You are watching Amplified Exposure Live with Teresa B. Keep it locked. Don't turn it off. Ever.
Keep shining, let it shine, shine like a diamond. Keep shining, let it shine, shine like a diamond.
Good evening, Facebook. This is Teresa B coming to you straight from Amplified Exposure Live. Today, I have my wonderful BFF, Judge Joe Brown. He came back to see me and to yap a little bit because, you know, it's after the election and I know he has a lot to say. So I'm going to let him rip it open because I got a feeling he got a lot to say.
Yeah, okay. Hello there. I guess I'm back in the house. How you doing, dear?
I'm good. How are you? And as everyone knows, he came on today, not just because he didn't have nothing else to do or just because, you know, he wanted to talk about politics, but he came on today because he likes me. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you got it, baby. Right on the
right. So we are here today. For those of you that do not know Judge Joe Brown, you are in for a treat. I know that people who are the new generation or the millenniums might not quite know him as much. I don't know, but I'm going to play a video clip tonight. So for everyone that is trying to get in, there's still some people trying to access the page. This video clip is maybe about 3 minutes long, so that way you get to see who Judge Joe Brown is and what you're about to be in for. Okay.
Never got the equipment back. Jerome claims the guitar and effects box were stolen from his car. Now here's Judge Joe Brown.
Everyone rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Joe Brown presiding. Please be seated and come to order. Your Honor, this is the matter of James versus Turner, case number 335.
Thank you, Miss Holly.
Welcome.
Mr. James, you're suing Mr. Turner. You've alleged that he borrowed one of your guitars and some other assorted equipment and that it was stolen and he has not compensated you for the loss. Is that correct, sir?
Exactly.
Is that right, sir?
This is true, Your Honor.
All right. Tell me about it, Mr. James.
Well, I've been knowing Mr. Turner since around 1985. You know, he's a fellow musician like myself, and he used to hang around the studio, and so we became friends. And, you know, I show him guitar chords and, you know, help him out, and he'd, you know, make errands for the group. You know, he wanted to be around music, and I kind of took him in, almost like, you know, like a son. And showed him around the studios, and so when I was recording albums, he'd be around, and he had his own little group and stuff. So we continued this relationship for a while, and he got his own band. You know, he had a couple bands, and you know, he was trying to make it, doing demos and recording sessions. Well, about 6 or 7 months ago, he had come into town, and his equipment, his guitars and his amp, had not arrived, or something happened. And he called me up, and he asked me well, he needed a guitar, and he needed an amp. So I lent him my, I bought a guitar. I have a bunch of guitars. This particular guitar was, you know, and he had seen it before. He had kind of liked it. And a Kurzweiler amp, which is a box that contains a lot of effects and stuff, which I have the receipts if I could present them to you. It was like $3,800 for the Kurzweiler, and the guitar cost me a little over $1,700. I have the receipts right there.
You've seen these, sir?
No, I haven't, but I will take Mr. James' word for it.
Pass them, Miss Holly, to Mr. Turner.
Thank you.
All right.
Anyway, if I may continue.
Yes, sir.
He called me up. He was in desperate, dire need to. He had some kind of gig he had to do, and he had called some other musicians, and they weren't around. So he called me up. I said, "Sure, you know, here I'll let you use the Kurzweiler, because, you know, I'm all about helping musicians. You know, if you're a friend of mine, I think you're a friend of mine, I'll give you the world. He told me that he had taken the guitar and the amp and put it in his car. Somebody had broken into his car, taken the guitar, and taken the amp.
So I take it you've not had the car returned, and you've made a claim to him for the loss.
Yeah, I mean, I told him. I mean, I didn't really get into detail how much things were worth because money is really not the objective with him. It was friendship. This stuff, you know, it costs a little money, man. You know, I'm building my life and my career back together. Pay me. I said, whatever's conducive for you, you know. So I said $200 or $300. So we worked out a thing. And he ended up paying me. He gave me a couple of payments. I think one time he paid me $200. Sent me a payment another month of $300. And the payment stopped. I mean, there was nothing.
Yeah, but why? 500?
Wait a minute. Yeah, but we're get into why. Hello, you just hold on for. I'm sorry.
$500 you got.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
All right.
He's going to get into this thing, but seeing that this is my time to talk, I'll just finish telling you. Then we got together at a club Billboard on Sunset, a bunch of us, and people were drinking a little bit, and no slight on my friend JT or my used to be friend, but you know he's there's a little sugar in his tank, you know. I mean, there's a little a little sugar going on up in there.
Don't say that, Rick. Don't say that.
What he's basically homosexual, okay? Now I have a problem with that because I love him still, okay? I mean, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm straight, but I don't have a problem with homosexuals. You know, they're in my life. I love them. I embrace them. I don't have a problem with it. This particular night, he had a little bit too much to drink, and you did have a little bit too much to drink. And
I take it this has something to do with his failure to pay off the balance.
Well, yeah, I'm getting to that. And you know, so all of a sudden we're all, you know, around the bar, and a bunch of us are talking, and I get this hand on my butt, you know, and the hand is like there for a few 40, 60 seconds, you know. And then there's another hand on my butt. And I look around, and it's JT. Now, hello. And then he goes into comments, well, you know, Rick, it was an accident, you know, or something. The hand was on my butt 40 seconds. How, a 40-second accident, your hand squeezing your butt?
No, that's not what happened, Rick.
It was at least 40 or 50 seconds.
All right, we got that.
Both buttocks.
All right. 2 hands full.
Two hands full.
Yeah, Rick James said he thought it was some ladies that were standing around him at the bar until he found out who it was, and then he got offended, and it got into, Rick, you didn't have to be like that. And he said, I told him, you know, don't get too happy about that record. Freaks come out at night, you know, that ain't reality. That's just a record. And then he got to talk about, Rick, you wasn't like that. He said, well, I ain't been like that anymore, you know.
Oh, I didn't know Rick got down like that.
Well, he said, I haven't been that way anymore, you know, like after I got through doing that time.
So how was it like meeting him?
Well, you don't meet the people. You can't meet them until after the initial broadcast. That's
okay.
FCC rules. You're not supposed to meet or talk with anybody until after the show is aired.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I didn't talk with him. I talked to Ike Turner a couple of times. He came on twice. He and his current wife, well, he's dead now, but the woman he was married to at the time, they had a foundation, so they would donate money to abused women, and the women would sign a contract. And if they left the abuser, then it was a gift. If they went back, it became a loan.